situation is still difficult, but there's a lot of optimism and hope because Syria has been the scene of the largest displacement in the world for the last 13 years. There have been about 13 million Syrians displaced, 7 million inside Syria, and 6 million refugees in many parts of the world, in Turkey, in Lebanon, in Europe, in many parts. And many of these Syrians would love to go back to their country. This is what they have told us, and they are waiting to see what happens inside the country before they can return. We see that the situation is improving, the security situation is getting better. We have seen movements across the borders, but this is not new. The borders between Syria and its neighbors have always been the scene of movements. People come and go. Not in huge numbers, but we have seen people returning from Turkey, from Lebanon, and from other countries. But also we are seeing some Syrians leaving because the situation in Syria has changed, but we don't have exact figures at the moment because on the Syrian side of the borders, there is no presence of the authorities. We have some information from the neighboring countries, for instance, from Turkey. Recently, the authorities gave a figure of some 7,600 Syrians who have returned to Syria. This is a very small number. So far, the numbers are not huge. We know also from Lebanon, there have been a few thousand Syrians who have returned, and these numbers continue to grow. But at the moment, we have not seen mass return because many people are still waiting to see what happens on the ground. Well, nobody wants to be a refugee. They need the basic things that we all need: shelter, food, work. Children need to go to school, people who are sick need to have access to health. So all these basic things, electricity, internet, water, all these things are still not readily available in many parts of Syria. So we hope that if this situation stabilizes and the conditions are there for people to return, we will see many people returning. We are asking for $310 million so that we can help up to 1 million Syrians who might return in the first 6 months of 2025. The international community needs to support the reconstruction of Syria. We need to have a stable government that ensures the rights of all people who are returning and who are already in Syria. In the medium and longer term, Syria needs its people. Syria needs all the skills, all the talent, all the hard work of all the Syrians who are outside the country to return and to help in the reconstruction of the country. Young people who are ready to work for the country. So in the long term, it's important that these people can return and help in the reconstruction of the country. But we need to help them. We need to facilitate that. We need to be there for them so that when they come back, we can help them. And for that, the international community needs to help Syria. And in the meantime, we need to give the Syrian refugees the time, the space to make that decision without any pressure. Syrians should not be pressurized to return to the country.